name is Clousy, and today I want to talk about something that I've been loving lately. It's not a blush, it's not a bronzer, it's just something in between. So I have some products in front of me right now to give you a little bit of a demonstrations of what I'm talking about. You can call it a blonzer. It's any product to me that's like pink enough to be a blush, but still warm and nude and brown enough to be a bronzer. Would have like a bit of a warm undertone, but like leaning into the cooler pinky side. It could either be advertised as blush or bronzer, doesn't matter to me. I just want to use it all over my cheeks, so like the bronzer area and down to the apple of my cheeks. I just want to use all over my face and like my entire forehead, because I feel like if I use it that way, it could save me so much time and it looks more flawless. Sometimes I feel like if the blush doesn't blend as well into the bronzer as expected, it could leave like a muddy feeling. Like, are you really doing your makeup? Like, it's not blending, it's like two separate lines. But I just use one product for two purposes. It would be so perfect because like there's no gradient at all. So let's just start with the first product. This is one of the newest products in my collections. This is the NYX Wonder Stick Duo and the Cream Blush Stick. So the one I want to talk about, of course, it has two ends, so like two colors. The one I actually want to talk about is Deep Peach. So this Wonder Stick, it has Deep Peach and Coral. Maybe I'll just show you the Coral. So the Coral is fine. It's like, yeah, it's a muted coral, but it's definitely a blush. I would never be able to use it as the bronzer, the things in between. But this shade, Deep Peach, whoa, what a cute shade. I don't know, like I never heard anyone describe the shade Deep Peach, but somehow it makes so much sense. So it's a brown with like an orange undertone in it, but everything is very neutral, like kind of muted in a way. So on my skin, looking very good, and it's quite sheer, very blendable. Sometimes I feel like I can build it up, but sometimes I want to use it as just a base so that I can blend another product on top. This one, it looks really nice. It blends out to be like a bit of nudie brown, so it's kind of like shaping and contouring kind of a product as well. So like when I kind of like just draw a line on the high point of my cheekbone, I can create that kind of like shadow and sculpted look. That's something that I like about it. Like now I can use it for even like more purposes, which is quite cool. So this is a new one, but so far I like it. The formulation is not anything phenomenal, but today we just talk about the color and why I would love to use these colors, a 2-in-1 product. So if you happen to look for someone like this, if you already have this kind of color in your collections, maybe try to use it as a 2-in-1. Just like, yeah, just use it over your cheeks. That would be very flushing and like sunburn cute. Maybe we stick with NYX because I bought this Buttermelt bronzer. I happened to buy, I decided that I would get the darker shade. It's called number 8, Better Than You. It's a very deep reddish bronzer tone. I didn't buy it to use it as a bronzer, obviously, because this is never a bronzer shade on my skin, but because it's advertised as a reddish bronzer, so I think I could use it like that red nudie brown kind of shade as my 2-in-1 bronzer. But it's very pigmented. When I say it's pigmented, there's no joke about the pigmentations. It's really pigmented. Look at this. I barely touch it. Whoa, so deep and pigmented. But as you blend it out, you can see more of that neutrally brown shade. So that's why I think for deeper skin tone is actually a good bronzer. I don't speak for darker skin myself, but like the more I blend it out, or like when I use a tiny bit of it and I blend it out, it turns into a neutral brown way more than expected. Definitely still have a little bit of purple and red undertone, but it do still have some brown in it. That's why it's so good. If I use a very light hand with it, use it as a bronzer, it turns out to be so perfect. It's like, it's so unique. Like I said, brown, purple, red, very smooth, very blendable. You just have to control the amount of product that you apply on the skin, or else it would be a hot mess. But I am happy with my choice because I kind of know what directions I would want to go with this kind of product. And if it's too pigmented, I don't want to use it as my bronzer. I want my bronzer to be subtle, and I want my blush to be more prominent. So think about this product. I decided to use it as a 2-in-1. Mostly as a blush to emphasize my love and affection toward blushes. I want to apply a lot of them compared to the amount that I would apply when it comes to a bronzer. So yeah, it's not a mistake. Like, some people would think that why would you even buy this shade, like because there's no other shade in stock, so then you get the shade that you would never buy just because it's in stock, and for the shade that you could buy it. No, it's like there's some thought behind it. And I turns out to like the color a lot. But the formulation is another story. Like, we need a deep dive into this kind of formulations because it's kind of wild. The next one is a product that I've been talking about a lot on my channel. It's called the RMS Beauty ReDimension Hydra Bronzer in the shade Beackwalk Petty. It's a neutral rosy bronzer. So I'm gonna give you a swatch. Like, comparing it to like a blush shade, it's definitely a bronzer. It has this like neutral brownish undertone, but compare it to a real bronzer, it's gorgeous. It's a bronzer hybridized with a blush. It's very beautiful and it has a sheen in it. I like the gel to creamy to powder kind of texture, and this color, look at this color. I mean, it can easily get away with being a blush or a bronzer, and I've been using it as a 2-in-1 a lot, and I love it. I kind of just don't want to talk about it anymore because it's so good, and like, it would make you feel like, oh, like what's the whole deal about it? Like, it's a good rosy bronzer. A very great rosy bronzer, and it's my favorite bronzer right now in my collection, so it says everything. This is the old but still very lovely favorite. This is the Mineral Blush from MAC. I have the shade Lovejoy. So when we say that something in between, when we talk about it as in a spectrum, there's something that leaning more blush and something that's leaning more bronzer. So like the RMS bronzer, definitely leaning is more the bronzer because intentionally it was designed as a bronzer, and this blush, it was designed as a blush. So you can tell very strong pink and orange, a little bit of red in it, but the round tone is still very strong. So I think with someone, I don't know if someone can get away using this blush as a bronzer, but comparing it to the rosy bronzer, I can see why it has so much brown in it, and it's so glowy, so mineralized, so personalized on my skin, and I just love it. Now looking at two finishes, I feel like they're quite similar actually. I could see myself using them alternatively, like I could get like similar finish, because the thing about makeup is that, oh, two different colors but on your cheeks, how much a difference would be for you to notice it. But I do like these two formulations. It's a bag formula, so it's a bit drier. The RMS definitely creamier, the NYX creamier, and yeah, the duo ended Wonder Stick is a cream product, so don't have to tell you about the texture of it. But so far, I think the RMS is the creamiest one, and then the NYX Buttermelt bronzer is the next creamiest one, and then you had this like drier, a bit scratchy feeling from the back formula from the MAC blush, but I still think it blends out so beautiful. It doesn't feel chalky or dry at all. And I think MAC is still really good brand when it comes to like lipstick and cheek product, and I mean, if you have been a MAC fan for a while, you know this is the quality that you can trust. And lastly, this last swatch on my hand would be from Flavedo and Albedo. I got the Dew Tint in the shade Toffee. This is the shade. It's so good. I don't know why. It's so beautiful. It has this like neutrally brown undertone, and it has a bit of red and orange in it. Oh, look at this, like, and I love the dewy glossy finish. I'm wearing it on my cheeks today as an actual bronzer, and you can tell it worked as a bronzer. Just let me check again. Yes, so you can tell there's a subtle hint of brown and red on my cheeks right now in this area, and that is this product. I don't know why, it's so beautiful. The color, it reminded me of Toasted Daddy, the pocket blush from Rhode Beauty. Yep, everybody's talking about it, but then see, like this color, I think it's comparable, it's equivalent to that kind of blush. It reminds me that I mean, I don't know, the formulations are definitely different, because the pocket blush, I feel like it's a bit matte. It's a matte cream formula. This is like a dewy emollient type of formula, so the finish definitely different on your skin, but it doesn't matter. Like I said, this is all about the color, and this is so cute, so perfect. It's red, and it doesn't have any pink that I could notice in it, but there's a nudie, reddish, orange kind of blush tone that I could every once in a while like. And it reminds me that I don't love that kind of color enough. Like, it's so strange because I always go for something that's a bit pinky, a bit more mauve. That's just like my type of blush color. But when I incorporate these warm tones into my cheek routines, applying as a bronzer and dragging it down to the cheek, it reminds me that I do love warm colors on my cheeks as blushes. So that's it. That's 5 products I think is a really good in-between product between a blush and a bronzer that I could use as a 2-in-1, as a quick step, a quick fix. I don't have to worry about blending, about picking 2 different types of product. I could just apply them and get a full cheek look. Once again, I'm Cloudy, and I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a quick one, but I hope it's fun. Hopefully we see each other again. Bye!